share a similar. Fuck! YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. That frustrates the hell out of me. God damn it. Maybe I can stream at a lower quality. Can't figure that out. I think it's defaulting to letting me do that already. Alright, we're gonna try to do it anyways.
Go for it.
Welcome and good evening to Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms. This is Raph streaming to you live, high above the keep in the hot air balloon. Tonight, the hot air balloon barely has enough gas to get off the ground. We're running out of fuel. My ISP is cutting the service to my house right now. It's a crisis. Neindorf, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Honestly, this is I think this is gonna be fun. I'm excited to hear some info here tonight.
Yeah, this is we're right now it's 11:30 November 30th, and we have a very special guest, Kels, who had boots on the ground at DC and Miami. Kels, how you doing tonight?
Guys, I am bullish, but I am tired. It's been a long couple of days.
Yeah, thank you so much for going through all of everything that you did over the the last few days, and I'm sure there was some late nights for you. So hopefully you get back to feeling recharged soon. So I'm still getting an error here from YouTube, so absolutely my apologies to everyone. we will jump over onto to summons night soon over on the ADFK Discord. I have a whole bunch of summons planned. Um, we have summons lined up for the. I know some community members out there, so really excited about this. I'm going to be giving away some stones tonight as well. So let's jump into it. Neindorf, let's start with the dev dive. What are you working on? What are you developing at the moment right now?
Yeah, so honestly, we've gotten more work done on some of our Fight Club tournament tracking. That work will continue. I'll keep all you guys up to date. We got a pretty exciting couple tournaments coming up here soon, so we'll keep looking out for those. Otherwise, my next thing that I'm really kind of doing is starting to build out some of these features where we could possibly have a sort of a guild quest bot that can possibly sort of kind of work similarly to Earn. So I'm just kind of testing this one out. There's been Earn has been a good tool for us, but I think as we grow, I think we maybe outgrow it. Perhaps I'll say. So I'm kind
Yeah.
of working that in the background too. And then I don't know, maybe so Kels maybe chased up a few interesting features I might need to work on here too soon. We'll get into that as we get going.
Love it. Cannot wait to get to that. So, I'd be remiss if we did not briefly touch on the Chaos Cast today. And so the Chaos Cast guys, Risen, Bolon, and then they brought in special guest Hubert, and they brought on Ian, one of the founders of Wisdom Labs, and then I think then also a founder of Wisdom Gaming, and they're foray into the gaming industry. Really exciting podcast that they had. Fantastic. Go watch that. Check it out, and then also check out the Bogside chat, guys. I was just in and out of putting the kids to bed here, Gen 1's to bed. Caught most of their podcast, and they didn't. So actually, we're gonna keep this. We're gonna keep this one pretty short in terms of what we're talking about here because it's been covered ad nauseum. So maybe Kels, we're gonna give Neindorf. What are our biggest, one or two takeaways from this?
Um, just reading Sandwich Punch's article about it, I was surprised that more of the most of it's actually built from what they said. They said the animations and all that stuff that we like, that's all the last stuff to do. So I was surprised to hear that most of it's already built. We're just kind of waiting on the visuals.
Yeah, I that stuck out to me. And then the size and scope of what they're wanting to discuss and to develop on. And so I think kind of for the first time ever. I mean, my biggest takeaway was they admitted to, they have gone through two iteration of contract negotiations and therefore relationships. And so it started out as kind of phase one, we're going to build a small game for you. And it has now transformed into phase two, we're also willing to build a giant game for you. And we're going to do our best to produce this in usable chunks so we can start getting some playable content for this amazing community right away, and then continuing to do that as we go into the future. So kind of these multiple phases of working together, to me that's awesome. And then the next piece that I would say really stuck out to me is just the sheer depth and willing to go full on nerd. That really showed through with Ian from Wisdom Labs. Hubert was talking about it. I mean, they're wanting to dive into both PvE and PvP, and they want to treat those as equal parts. And I think that's has me feeling really bullish about the game in general. So Neindorf, what are your or Kels? Let's go to you first. Any other reaction points that you have from that?
I do like that Hubert has a big focus on PVE. PVE it's kind of where my heart is. I like PvP, but I've always been more of a PVE type player, and the fact that that's what he seems to specialize in is it speaks to me. And also the fact that they said that the game they want to build will take years to build. But instead of just having to sit there and twiddle our thumbs for years, they're going to just build out a game in iterations. So they're going to release a little bit, let us play it, and then add more and more to that. So we're not going to have to wait. You don't have to sit there and wait years for like an actual real game to come out.
Yeah, and before we let you go, Neindorf, I just want to clarify. I think there are PVE games that are very passive, and the P is very singular in person versus environment. And I did not get that vibe at all from what they were talking about. They referenced games that are P in a plural sense versus environment. And I think that is key and really, really freaking exciting. When you have guilds versus environment, guilds doing dungeon battles and raids, some of the terms that they threw around, I mean, that is excited. That gets me stoked and ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole point of a guild is so that you guys can work together towards some sort of common goal, and there's no better aspect of that than like a PVE type of raid, a dungeon, a boss fight, all those things. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic to have a guild actually doing that stuff.
All right, Neindorf, we'll let you talk. What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah. So I'm soaking it all in because, like you said, I didn't hear it live or catch up on it. But I guess what I'm hearing is we've said this before, but the team kind of realizes their strength isn't maybe necessarily in game dev, and I'm like the best blockchain developers from what I can tell. So I think that's great. And then continuing on that front, though, the point about there being a playable game sooner rather than years down the line is absolutely massive. Uh, and then the final point I'll make is, like you said, if it's group involvement in any level, you think about all the other games that have succeeded and thrived for years or decades. They were all some sort of games that had multiple people involved. Sure, there's some single player games that have thrived in the long term with expansions, but overwhelmingly those aren't the ones that people get excited about. It's the ones where I can pop up and play with my buddies and kind of have a great time. And maybe you can maybe play super serious, or maybe there's also some semi-serious modes. So I don't know. I think I had not really heard this before, and so that is absolutely the most important thing for me right now. Makes me want to go buy some more heroes, to be honest with you.
Makes me want to go buy some Jewel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm only spending crystal on heroes, so it's fine.
Right. Okay, so sideline reporter Kels representing ADFK Guild with Grady out there. I know you met up with Rock 808. You met up with the also guild member, right? You met up with the Mythic Squad. I mean, it's just some awesome community members out there, and you got to see the booth. So let's take us through. I mean, I guess start us from the start. When did you get there? The trip in. What was the weather like? Give us kind of like the sideline reporter view of the feel of the environment. What was it like going into DC Miami?
Sure. So, well, it's Miami. So anyone that you could tell the people that have never been to South Florida before, especially the Mythic Squad guys, they were wearing heavy sweaters.
Love you
And
guys.
yeah, they regretted that decision by the end of the first day. But
Milk was a bad choice.
yeah, so I got in a little later the first day because I drove in Miami traffic. You don't drive through rush hour Miami traffic, so I waited a little bit. But when I got there, the first thing I did, I beeline to the DFK booth, and it was fantastic. All the devs were there. They had a couple of computers set up with DFK going. And then the very first day, Dreamer took pretty much everyone that was there downstairs. We had like a talk where he thanked us. He said, we're going to be the pioneers of this game. We're the boots on the ground, and basically just the love that they have for the community. You could feel it. You could definitely tell that they appreciated us being there for sure. So that the first day was just kind of meeting everyone, finding out who people were, like putting faces to names. Rock 808 was fantastic. I mean, he streamed, I think, the absolute entire event. Every time I saw him, he had his phone out streaming.
Yeah.
Grady, hats off to Grady. I mean, I I walked around the event by myself, most of the time, and every time I would walk by Grady, he was talking to somebody new, and he was talking to them about DFK, and he was talking to um, about crypto and that are in it for the long haul. But the DFK booth, I mean, that's kind of where all of us kind of gravitated towards, and we wanted to talk to the devs. We wanted to meet everyone. We wanted to talk to the devs. But every time we were there was just so many people that either were just hearing about DFK or had heard about it before that wanted to talk to them. So we didn't. I told them, I said, you guys don't need to talk to us. You guys already have us locked into the game. You need to talk to the other people. Like, don't, we'll catch you when it's a slow time. But there was, every time I went to the booth, there was always somebody there talking to the devs. There was people streaming about the game. People, they had all kind of merch. They had hats, they had drawstring bags, they had bloater pins, and by the end of the second day, every single person I saw had either a hat on, a bloater pin on their little badge that you got to walk around the conference, a jewel sticker. People were putting jewel stickers on people's backs and stuff. It was literally like DFK took over that convention.
So you mentioned bloater. Let's go there. What's the alpha around? Let's start talking about pets. What do you
Sure.
know, and what are we finding out from the convention?
So I talked to I tried to talk to all the devs individually, just get their story, who they were, where they came from, and I was just blown away. Like, I mean, I learned so much about Dreamer, that his background. He's like, this risk management guy from Goldman Sachs, and he was like the youngest VP that they've ever had. And you could just you could feel his vision and his passion. And I asked him all kind of questions, and every question I asked him, he had a great answer to it. So anyway, but I got to Cinnamon Bun was there, and he's one of the artists, and he was working on the pets, and he said he was going to pull out his tablet and start doing some work, some pixel art. And he pulled out his tablet, and I don't know if you have the pictures that I took up, but he said we could take pictures, and he was showing us
Yeah.
basically what the next pets are going to be for the green eggs.
All right,
So
so I have this loaded up. It's in our guild chat right now, and we're going to put it live on YouTube. So with the streaming quality, you're probably going to see this or hear this message. I don't know. It might be 4 hours from now. I'm not sure, but you're going to eventually get it. So I'm going to go top to bottom on guild chat here. Kels, walk us through some of this Cinnabon art. Um, yeah, so the first one I'm looking at, alpaca, llama. What do we got here?
it's an alpaca. That was the first thing he showed us. So I think a cow might be one of them. There was a lot of cool things. He said that the green eggs are going to be farm pets that you can find on a farm.
Okay.
I don't know many. I mean, farms that have gnomes riding alpacas on them, but this is the fantasy world.
Well, you haven't been to Iowa. Um,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I haven't.
yeah. All right. Well, that is. I mean, that's exciting. You had a chance to go out with the devs or the. So tell us about, like, yeah, your nighttime activities. Let's dive into it. I know there was a picture that I saw of people doing shots around a
Yeah.
table. So, like, what went on there nighttime? The first night, what'd you guys do? Who'd you hang with?
So I was disappointed that we didn't get to do any nighttime activities with the devs, but they were doing their own. Like the first night, they were doing like a team dinner. So we didn't do anything with them, but all of the rest of us, myself, Prime Time, some of the Eternal Zenith Guild, the Mythic Squad Guild, Grady, all of basically everyone else, we all went out together, and we just had like we sat around a bunch of drinks, and we just talked about all these different ideas that as guilds we could work with each other, and it was just good to, like, a lot of these talks we have on Discord, and we type it out, and but sitting in nothing beats sitting in person with people, and just brainstorming like live, and getting just all these different ideas, and seeing how we could make them all work together. So nothing with the team officially, but but we did a lot of stuff with the guilds together.
All right. So Zelf wants to know, what was everyone drinking?
What is it? So we went to a place called the Tipsy Flamingo, and they had a signature drink there that was a flamingo. I don't know what was in it. There was a lot of liquor, but I started the night off with a round of tequila shots for everybody to kind of get things
Oh,
going.
nice.
So, oh, it was great too because they were called the Pablo Escobar tequila shots, and they gave you a shot of tequila, but then they gave you a bag of salt that looked like a bag of cocaine.
Oh.
So so we went to the table and there's all these shots and all these baggies with like whitish powder all over the table. And I was
Oh
like,
my
yeah, this looks
gosh.
like Miami, you know.
Oh my
But yeah,
god.
yeah. So
Uh,
Only in
that was
Miami,
that was
right? That's
only in
awesome.
Miami could you get away with that? Yeah.
Right. That's fantastic. Okay, so um who were some of the guys you hung with on that first night?
It was the all the Mythic Squad guys were all fantastic guys. I love those guys. Like instantly, like just clicked with them. Um, Grady is fantastic. I mean, Grady is if you know Grady, he's a bull in a china shop, you know. But I love to his energy. You can't match his energy. It's from the time I saw him to the time I left, he had the same energy. And then like I said before, Rock was there just basically streaming it to everyone else, so everyone could kind of see Rock didn't come out at night. Rock was tired. He didn't want to come out, but yeah, it was mostly the Mythic Squad guys, Grady, Prime Time, and then Three Wolves from the Eternal Zenith Guild.
Oh, great. Awesome. Okay, so then night 2, did you have a chance to go out with the devs?
Well, so that night two was the official after party of the event. So we had planned on doing that, but there was something with some sort of lapse in communication where you had to sign up for the event, and there was like a limit to who could come. And I guess we were at one event, and the devs were at a different event for like because they had like a VIP type event for the different speakers and the different contributors, and I guess there was two separate events. So
Oh.
we went to one event, and I think they went to another one, but it was the same group of us, and that we went out the first night, that went out the second night, but I never got to sit with the dead. That was the one thing I missed the most because when you were talking with these guys in the booth and everything, they're working, like they have their game face on. I wanted to like sit back with Dreamer and just cut loose with them, have a beer with them and talk to not Dreamer, but the person. I didn't get that
Oh,
chance, but I still talk to these guys for hours and stuff. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think we're like, I don't know, the way that I'm feeling from afar here, like, I can't wait to go to an in person event. Um, Neindorf, I'm going to be tugging at you here.
Beetle Dude did a panel on how DeFi is going to change the current infrastructure. I watched that one, and I feel like I don't know why they could have led the questions a whole lot better for him for GameFi questions. The questions seem to go down this whole rabbit hole of like FTX and customer deposits and poor Beetle Dude, he's a developer for a game, right? So he didn't have a lot of answers for that stuff, right? So they could have asked him questions about how gaming is going to get revolutionized. DeFi gaming is going to revolutionize gaming, and I feel like he would have killed it up there. But he didn't get any good questions to really knock him out of the park. But the panel with Dreamer was that one was live streamed. It was the main stage, so it was like a Binance live stream, or whatever, 15,000 people or something watching it. There was 4 people on the panel and the moderator, and he just killed it. Every question that they had, he was on top of it. The other panelists were like basically feeding off of what Dreamer was saying, and that was the one where you could hear Grady, because Grady was just hooting and hollering the whole
Yeah.
time. And every time that Dreamer would speak, Grady, we would just go nuts. And then even the panel moderators were like, "Man, you guys got a big fan club here," and it was and it was felt too, for sure. Everyone that if they didn't know about DFK before the event, they know about DFK now.
That is awesome. Well done, guys. I mean, hats off to you. I mean, really, that kind of like, I mean, that was watched, like you said, watched by 15,000 viewers. I mean, that kind of pressure. I mean, we should all be thanking you guys, and that's gonna boost the notoriety and the optimism around the game too. So well done. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was a overall from front to back. It was a fantastic event. I left there more bullish on the game than I came there, and I was already super bullish on the game when I went there. So yeah, it did everything that I thought it was going to do and more for me.
Awesome. Very, very cool. All right, Neindorf, any closing comments for you? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, nothing too much here. I think it's important to reiterate. Yeah, like I like the point you made that, if they do a DFK con, it is about that community, and it sounds